This is Chris with Phoenix Gaming. Today we're going to take a deep dive into rare rules. We're going to look at the fight again mechanic and how it interacts. So we're going to talk about who can fight again, when, and how you fight again. This is going to be a pretty short and straightforward video. My goal is to just kind of hopefully teach somebody or multiple people out there how to take advantage of these fight twice or fight again mechanics that are out there. You know, there are some rules that allow units to fight again in the fight phase, and that's on their data sheets. If you look at units like Red Butchers and Karn, those units have them baked right into the data sheet. Some rules allow units to fight again in the fight phase, such as Red Butchers. You know, there's some 8th edition strats still lingering. I think actually they're all gone now with the Demon Codex having come out. But when they fight again in the fight phase, this is a really interesting interaction because it doesn't specify how or when. It just says that they get to fight again in the fight phase. So when they fight is based on what priority they're in. If you look at the card up top, it'll take you to our fight first, fight last video, and it'll explain what I mean by priorities. But when you fight again in a fight phase, such as Red Butchers, they just fight in whatever priority they are in. So if they charged, they fight with the fight firsts twice, which can be pretty brutal and devastating. So these are things to keep in mind. There are rules that allow you to fight again, but it's at the end of the fight phase. So if you look at stratagems like Honor the Chapter or the Cult of Strife stratagem, I forget what it's called, but they both interact pretty much the same way. At the end of the fight phase, you select a unit and it gets to fight again. In order to fight again, or to use stratagems or any kind of rules that allow you to fight again, you have to be eligible to fight. And what that means is you just, when they're declared or selected to fight, they can be activated if they're within engagement range of an enemy unit or they have declared a charge this turn. Either of those things allows you to be eligible to fight. And again, so if we look at it, if Red Butchers fight and they charge, they activate to fight. Let's say they kill whatever they touch. Even though they're not within engagement range of an enemy unit, they're still eligible to fight again. Now, because they charged, they can't target any units with their attacks, but what they can do is they can activate to fight, which gives you a 3-inch pile-in and a 3-inch consolidation. So if you're not using that, you're just not using up the 6 inches of movement in the fight phase. And if you're playing a melee-centric army, you need all the extra movement you can get to kind of position your models and get them into a better place so that you're not getting killed in the shooting phase or so that you're able to take objectives, things like that. How do you fight again? And again, I think I just touched on that. If the unit is eligible to fight again, then whenever it is eligible to fight again, you activate the unit to fight. You make pile-ins, you make attacks, you make consolidation moves. So this does work just like your first fight interaction. Again, the only difference is if you declared a charge, you can only declare attacks against units that you declared a charge against or a unit that heroically intervenes into you. So if you intervene into me and I'm eligible to fight again, I can target your intervening unit with my second fight if I want to. So these are just things to keep in mind. And speaking of things to keep in mind, units that charged, again, may only target units that they declared a charge against with their attacks, even if they get to fight twice. Units that charged are eligible to fight, even if they aren't in engagement range. And again, this just allows you to cheese some extra movement with fight twice and even fight 3-time mechanics. Again, I think the fight 3 times is gone, but there were a couple times where I had Red Butchers on the table before their Codex came out, or the White Dwarf came out. And I would fight, or I would charge, I would fight, and then I would get my 6 inches of movement for my second fight. And then because I charged, I'm eligible to fight, so I could use the stratagem to get another 6 inches of movement for my third fight. So there were times where my Red Butchers would clear 20, 30 inches of movement across the board, and I would be able to take backfield objectives and then just really disrupt what it is they had going on. Regardless of when you fight twice, if you end within engagement range of an enemy unit that has not been activated to fight, they are now eligible and can activate to fight you. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're consolidating and piling into different units. As soon as you get within engagement range of a unit, they get to fight you back. Obviously, if they've already activated to fight, they can't unless they have a mechanic that lets them fight again also. But just some positional strategies to keep in mind when you're playing. And then units that fight twice in the fight phase, not at the end of the phase. When they fight twice in the fight phase, again, they're going to stay in whatever priority they were in. I posted the card explaining what I mean by that. Watch that video. It'll break down fight first and fight last real good. Chargers get to fight twice. And again, this is just a breakdown of stuff that we've already talked about. You get to fight twice in the Charger / fight first priority. Red Butchers on the charge get 5 attacks per model. Times 5 models is 25 dice, but you get to do it again. So you get 50 attacks out of 5 models in the fight first priority. Again, this was going to be a quick video. We're all done. The main thing I wanted to make sure I let everybody understand was that they can use these fight twice and fight again mechanics for more than just doing damage. You can actually use them for positioning models and stealing objectives. These are things to keep in mind. As usual, our Patreon tiers, $1.50 is a hatchling. You get mentioned on the Patreon's page. Firebird is $5, 24-hour early access to all content and ability to vote on future content. Phoenix, $10, you get all of that plus a sticker. And Immortals, you get a sticker, everything else, and a t-shirt plus a special shout out at the end of the videos. Speaking of our Immortals, we've got Captain Too Tall and the real Donnie G. Again, thanks for the support, guys. You've been awesome. We actually just got another couple boxes of terrain here. They'll be coming in probably in the next couple weeks here. And once those are in, I think we'll be able to furnish independently. I'll be able to furnish about 8 to 10 tables without the support of any of the local stores that I'd be running events at. And that was always my goal, was to basically run events completely independently. And we're getting there, and it's all thanks to the support of everybody who's liking and subscribing, watching the videos on Twitch. Again, we are streaming live games once a week, so make sure you check those out. All those links are going to be in the description, and they're right there on your screen right now. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.